Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about the do's, the don'ts and the maybes when it comes to creating a CV. This is something a lot of people tend to outsource, but it's something that you can really do by yourself and save your coin. If you want to find out how to create a killer CV, then definitely keep watching this video. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Ubi Ogulu. I'm a qualified chartered accountant in South Africa. That is Ubi Ogulu, C-A-S-A. What? I know for some of you, you might not know what that means, but if you are based in South Africa, then you definitely understand the weight that accreditation has behind one's name. Anyways, that is not what this video is about. Let us get into creating a bomb-ass killer CV. When you are creating your CV, you need to have in mind that your CV needs to be tailored specifically for the job and the position that you're applying for, especially if you want to land an interview. Make sure your CV contains keywords that they had used in the job vacancy ad, because that makes you look like you are the person they were looking for and it'll make you stand out. Make sure your CV is jam-packed with information that is relevant to the job that you're applying for, as well as information that makes you look like a unique candidate and makes you stand out. The content of your CV will include information such as your professional image, your personal details and objective statements, your educational background and any qualifications that you have, your professional experience, your personal attributes, your non-professional experiences, as well as some references. So I'm going to talk about all those different contents and break it down and give you guys information that you can include under each heading. So your professional image, you want an image that is clean and clear and looks professional. It doesn't have to be taken by a professional for it to be a professional image. It just needs to look that way. And it's essentially like an ID photo, but one that looks way better. For your personal details, you really don't need to go too deep into this. You can put your name and your surname, your contact number, and your email address. You don't have to put your physical address because sometimes, depending on where the company is, they might reject giving you an interview based on you being out of the city that the company is in. An objective statement in your CV is optional. You do not have to have one. Unless you have an objective statement that is unique and personal to you, then do not include one. So don't go pull out an objective statement from Google and put it onto your CV because the chances are they've seen it before. For your educational background and academic qualifications, it really depends on where you are. If you're someone who's straight out of high school, then go ahead and put in the subjects that you studied in high school. If you are a high performer in high school, put your grades as well. If you're not a high performer in high school, don't feel bad, just leave your grades out. If you are someone who has a postgrad or an undergrad, then you can leave out the high school details entirely and just put in your undergrad qualification and the year you obtained it, as well as your postgrad qualification and the year that you obtained it, and any other further qualifications that you have. And if you are someone who is nearing the end of your articles contract, also include your board exams, ITC and APC, or whatever the board exam is called in whatever country you're in, and the year that you wrote those exams. Under the educational background section of your CV, you also want to include that you are computer literate. If you are computer literate, include the software that you're able to use, such as Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. You also want to add your language skills. So whatever language you're able to speak, read, and write, add them and split them into different sections of speak, read, and write, and how proficient you are at those languages. Under the work experience section, what you want to do is include your previous roles in the companies that you work for, as well as the time period that you worked for those companies. If you worked for a company within the same year, then just say 2019 to 2019. You don't have to specify the date or even the month. The other thing you want to include under each company that you've worked for was the role that you were at, as well as anything that you accomplished. You don't necessarily have to put that you were responsible for XYZ. If you accomplished anything or if you received any awards in terms of high performance, make sure you include that because that makes you stand out even more. I mentioned this in my previous video, but for those of you who have completed your articles or are completing your articles, make sure you include every single company that you have audited, as well as the industry that they fall under. Under your personal attributes section, this is where you list your strengths, and you also need to make sure in this section that you utilize the keywords that you saw in the job vacancy ad, because this makes it look like you are tailored for the role they are looking for a person to fill. Under your non-professional experiences, this is where you tell them a little bit about yourself and the things that you are interested in outside of the office and outside of work. It can be anything from hiking to being involved in charity work. It's just giving them a holistic view of who you are as a person. For instance, on my CV, I've also included that I'm a YouTube content creator. This didn't stop my firm from hiring me. And if you feel like you're applying to a company where putting something like that might be to your detriment, then don't put it in. The last bit of your CV should be your references. I cannot stress enough that you need to make sure that the people you put on your CV as your references will give you a good reference and a good feedback. There are people who have self-sabotaged by putting the wrong people as references on their CV. Not everybody wants to see you win. Not everybody wants to see you level up. So make sure the people that you are putting as a reference are in your corner and want to see you win. Just as an aside, there is an app called Intelligent CV. You can download that and use that as a way to guide you to create your CV. Alternatively, you can be like me and literally download a template off the internet and tailor it for the role and the job that you're applying for, as well as for yourself. When you are done creating your CV in a Word document, make sure you run a spell check on your CV to make sure there are no silly spelling errors or any errors that will instantly stand out to the person reading your CV. And once that's done, make sure you save your CV as a PDF version. If you send in your CV as a Word version, it can easily get edited and messed up, and then you end up not getting the job. Or alternatively, they might not even open it because it's a Word version. So make sure your CV is saved as a PDF version. And make sure you include your name when you are saving your CV. I cannot stress that enough. Because the last thing you want is for your CV to get lost in a pile of CVs because your name is not in the name of your CV. Just to recap everything I have said, you do not need to include your address in your CV. Do not include an objective statement unless it is your own objective statement that you have come up with and is unique and personal to you. Make sure your references actually give you a good reference. Do not self-sabotage. And lastly, your CV has to be tailored for the job and the role that you're applying for. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, please share it with your friends. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye!